Good morning, Gremlins. It is bright and early on a Friday, and I am so tired. I have a giant cup of coffee, bringing it into frame, matches my shirt. This is a huge Hocus Pocus mug. It has the thing that they say to turn Binks into a cat, and I'm wearing a Hocus Pocus shirt. It's like a fake spirit jersey. I'll back up so you can see the back. Ta-da! Outfit to reveal. But hello. Hello, my dear Gremlins. I'm so tired. Alright. This is sort of an impromptu reading vlog. I requested some random books from my library and they all came in at once. So I'm going to read them. I actually started one of them yesterday. So this is like, I think they're all horror. One's adult horror, two are YA horror. But two are books that I really wanted to read and I didn't realize were in my system. I saw them on like a list or they like popped up. I don't even really remember how it came about, but I was like, oh, they're in. So I have those two, but I am currently reading How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold, and this is wild. I am pretty decently into it. I'm on chapter 15, and I read all of this last night. Like, I was reading for a while. It is just, okay, so I think it's Fatally Invited. You Are Fatally Invited. That was also about, like, horror writers who are invited to, like, an island, and there's, like, an event, and then it turns into, like, a game of sorts. This is that, but frighteninger. That's not a word. I told you I'm tired. But like, this is wild. We're following, there's actually a list of characters, which is very helpful. We're following, there it is. I'll start with Melanie. So Melanie Brown, Winnie Roche, Crystal Flowers, Chester Plumage, Petey Marsh, Buck Grimm, and Scott Clay. And they're all horror writers except for Melanie Brown, who says she's like, I don't write horror, like I don't know why I'm here. But they've all been invited to the Queen Manor, and what is his first name? Mortimer. Mortimer Queen has passed away and he has invited them all to the reading of his will. So they arrive, the house is like really creepy looking, and they have to like go through a certain number of events a little bit before they can even do the will reading. So there's like a dinner with some very odd wait staff, and there's a woman named Gia who's like running the event and is like, oh yes, we will take your things, I will be around, and then informs them that they have to solve riddles throughout rooms of the house in order to make it out alive. Not just like get something, to make it out alive. And they're all like, what? I thought like I was getting something, even though all of these people have like a very strange relationship with Mortimer. And she's like, no, this is like, we feed the house. The house needs food. So, go. And so they have to get through different rooms of the house. And this is a house that does not look the same on the outside as it does on the inside. So think the TARDIS, but horrifying. Things are out to get you. On the back, there's a blurb about killer books. There are killer books. There's a lot happening. You could die at any moment, really. And we're just following them as they all attempt to figure out these riddles, get the answers. And the riddles are all very personal. And they have to solve them to survive. But you have to go from the bottom to the top. So it's a little bit like a board game almost, in that they start on the bottom floor and then they're going up because the only way out is through the attic. So they're starting at the bottom, have to get to the top of the house to get out. And Melanie is very confused. She has met Mortimer Queen, but she has no idea why he invited her, like what she did to make him invite her to this, because she's like, I don't understand. So it has been a wild time. Each of the points of view, oh, my hair's doing whatever it wants to. Each of the points of view is very interesting. Some of the people are horrible. And it's just, there's a lot to take in. The game is stressful, very stressful for everyone. And someone lost part of a limb, is all I will say. It was a small part, just a tiny part. It just made me go, ugh, because I mean, I have lost little parts of limbs. Ta-da. I've talked about that in so many videos. I'm not getting into it, but like it happened and I was like, ooh. But yeah, I am really enjoying it. Mallory Arnold is building a very creepy world in this, with this house that eats. So I'm gonna try and read more of it during lunch, because I don't know that I have time before work. I'm so tired. The dogs did not want to settle last night. Like, the bedroom was a little hot, but not like oppressively hot, and like we would turn the AC on sporadically. It's so cool outside that I like was hoping we wouldn't need it, but they were so like all over the place, like not laying down, waking up, moving around, and kept waking me and Krista up, and so I'm so tired. I'm going to drink this very large coffee, and yeah, work's about to start, so I gotta do work stuff, but I'm gonna drink more of this coffee. And I will fill you in when I have an update on How to Survive a Horror Story. I won't spoil anything. Again, there will be no spoilers. Definitely not for this, because this is like a new release, but I am really enjoying it so far, and it is far more like creepy horror than You Are Fatally Invited was. Not that they're the same book. They are definitively different books, but just the idea of horror writers being invited somewhere is similar. There are so many other books where authors get invited to places and something horrible happens, but this is like horror, like kind of murder house, like American Horror Story Murder House. Think of that a bit, where like the house does what it wants. Yeah, that's what they're dealing with. But I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later, Gremlins, when I am more caffeinated and have more of the book read. Hello, Gremlins. It is very noisy outside. It is my lunch break, the very end of it, and I was able to finish How to Survive a Horror Story. This is very fun. This gets very wild near the end, and there's sort of an epilogue which is very interesting to read. I had a lot of fun with this. I feel like this reminded me not of that other book I mentioned. This reminded me of something, but in like a good way. Could not tell you what it reminds me of, but something in this like reminds me of something else. I just can't. I think I know what it is. I'm not going to tell you because it feels like a spoiler, but it was a Netflix show by Mike Flanagan. That's all I'm going to say. And in like a very odd way, like just an odd way. It reminds me of it in an odd way. But I had a really fun time with this. This was a really good book. This is her debut, so I'd be curious to see what else Mallory Arnold writes, because I really enjoyed this. This took darker twists than I expected. Also, someone is blaring music at the intersection. Hold on. And we're back. They've driven off. They did go through the light legally, which rarely happens, but this was really fun. I think if you like sort of a trapped room kind of mystery, I think you'd enjoy this. If you like a haunted house story, I think you would enjoy this. I think this could appeal to a lot of readers, even like folks who normally read thrillers and aren't as invested in horror. I think this would be a really good like stepping off point for horror, because it does have a thriller sense to it, and then there just happen to be horror elements. So I highly recommend. This was a very fun time. I want to get it back to the library pretty soon because it is new and it's due back way sooner than everything else that I have. The next book on the docket is, oh, it has like a cute little sticker, is How to Survive a Slasher by Justine Pusella Winans. I am very excited, and this totally says Stonewall Honor winning author, which makes me think this is gay in some capacity. I'm not going to read you the summary. Oh, I'll read you the top little bit. So, few people can say they faced the infamous Satterville Wolfman and lived, but C.J. Smith can. Not that she would. And then I'll fill you in once I get farther, but I'm very intrigued by this. It is very much like Return of a Slasher, like a sequel slasher. So there is a history of this slasher right here in the town. So I'm very, very interested. And it's YA, so I don't think it's gonna take me very long. It sounded really good, and I swear someone mentioned it somewhere. And I just like, I'm trying to see, sorry, I'm like doing two things at once. So I'm just like very, very interested, and I swear someone mentioned this. So yeah. Okay, I'm not seeing. Interesting. One of this says Wishbone, and it can't be the dog, so I don't know. It lists other books. Their pronouns are she, they, FYI. I was skimming the back, but I am very, very curious to see how this goes. I definitely won't be reading until after work. Also after work, I'm probably not going to bring you. We have to go grocery shopping because I need some stuff. I need some scare actor supplies, which if you haven't seen other videos, I am going to be a scare actor at a local haunt, and I'm very excited, but I need to pick up like throat coat tea and some lozenges because I've been informed that the character I'm playing will be screaming a lot. I'm not going to tell you what that character is yet. I have orientation next week, and I want to double check that I'm allowed to like share what character I am. I think it would be fine, but I just want to double check. I may just text them anyway too, just to ask, but I'm very excited. But I definitely need stuff if I'm going to be screaming a lot at night for extended periods of time. So yeah, but I'm excited to read this one. And yeah, we're going grocery shopping, and then we're going to Spirit because I have a coupon and I really want to go back to see if they got more stuff in. And then I'm getting Taco Bell for dinner because I really want Taco Bell. We had mini pizzas for lunch. Krista, a little while ago, got us this like air fryer oven thing, and you can like make little pizzas in it really fast, and I did that for Krista and I for lunch. But yeah, we're gonna run out, grocery shop. It's not a lot of stuff, just like some odds and ends, mostly the stuff that I need so I don't lose my voice. And then yeah, then fun stuff. I don't know, I might bring you to Spirit, I might not. We shall see how I'm feeling. It's always so tricky there because of the music, but maybe it'll be less busy than last time. We shall see. All right, I'm gonna go Gremlins. I gotta get back to work, but I will talk to you later. Hello Gremlins, you probably hear the AC. So I got this. Oh, it was fine. Oh, I am cut off. Hold on, let me lean. I'll lean. I think I shifted you on accident. There we go. So I got this at Spirit with my coupon. It's Warner Brothers characters. So you can get Pennywise, Georgie, Gizmo, Freddy Krueger, a sandworm. I know this is not the sandworm because they had 3 sandworms and you can tell. Beetlejuice or a mystery. I have no idea. The hope is that Gizmo is in here. Now watch, I won't even be able to open this because these are the ones that don't have a rip thing. I am not putting this in my mouth. Krista has it. Can you pull it? If not, I'll stab it with my keys. She got it. Okay, what is it? What's it? It is!
And who do you have to thank?
My wife. I made Krista check all of them. Like, touch them. It's Gizmo. It's Gizmo. Behold, it is Gizmo, who is a Mogwai and not a gremlin like you. Even though you're not a Warner Brothers gremlin, you're just not, because that would be copyright infringement. Doo-doo. Anyway, yay! It's Gizmo. He's adorable. Okay, we're gonna go grocery shopping and then to Five Below to check for additional gremlin things, but he's so cute. He's adorable. Behold the gremlin. Well, the Mogwai. You're a Mogwai. Except they gave him really like
mean teeth.
Like this is like Gizmo if he did actually eat after midnight. But he's very, very cute. All right, we're gonna drive, so I'm gonna put you away. I will talk to you later, Gremlins. If we find the things at Five Below, I will show them to you, but we don't know if they have them or not. So I'll talk to you later. Hello, Gremlins. I just got done at Five Below. Oh, you can see them. They had them. They had Stripe. My head's cut off. It's fine. And then Gizmo. Look at them. They're so cute. They're only $6, which I don't think is that bad for like a mini little Squishmallow plush. But I've been waiting for these for weeks. But they had them, and they're so cute. His ears are so cute, and he's so cute. These can never come into our bedroom because if they do, Chloe will accidentally rip them apart. Between her and Kira, I will lose them, but they're gonna hang out in my office. And they're adorable. They're so cute. I'm so glad I found them. This is like the only thing that I was like looking for, really. So I'm very excited, but we're headed home. We're gonna grab my Taco Bell. Krista is getting sushi, I think. Attempting. And yeah, and then we're just gonna hang at home for the rest of the night. So the only update I have for you, oh, the book's actually in the back. Ah! I read the prologue. And this is set in Ohio. Oh, the car is yelling. Oh gosh. But yes, so this is set in Ohio. It's set in Slaterville, Ohio, and it's supposed to be near Cleveland by Lake Erie, I believe is the layout of this. But everyone calls it Slasherville. Yes. Oh, Satterville. So yeah, it's set in Satterville, which is, what are they gonna say? I didn't even like finish this. Oh, Satterville, even though this is made up, I want to say, oh, outside the city of Cleveland and nestled right on Lake Erie. So I'm very excited. I'm from Ohio originally, so this is just like very fun that it's set in Ohio. But I'm gonna go, we're gonna head home. We got all of our groceries, which included some like Halloween-y treats, just because they had them and we've been talking about getting them. But yeah, so we're headed home. I'm gonna eat my Taco Bell. I will talk to you later, Gremlins. They're so cute. I think I like the stripe more, design-wise, than Gizmo. He's just it's so fun. Anyway, all right, I will talk to you later, Gremlins. Bye! Good morning, Gremlins. It is Sunday. I didn't vlog at all yesterday. I'm wearing a very cozy pumpkin spice queen nightgown. It is from Walmart. It has pockets, but these are really, really comfy, and I really like wearing them in the fall. I even sometimes wear them in the summer, but I just hadn't worn this one yet. I am making coffee. I already took Krista a coffee and a little cup of creamer for Goose because she really likes to be involved in coffee time. But I'm gonna make my coffee, and then I'm gonna cut some pumpkin roll. We're gonna do that for breakfast as like a breakfast pastry. I do have a book update, but yeah, I just didn't take you yesterday because we were running a lot of errands in the morning, well, in the afternoon, and we were also going to like a dinner, and I was really afraid that my camera would get damaged at the dinner because there's not really anywhere to put your bags where we were getting food, and we were meeting people. So I was just like, I just won't bring my camera, which was slightly unfortunate because we saw something really, really cool that I'm gonna try and include in this video, because I have it. I'll get more into detail on that when I'm like showing it to you, but I'm gonna make coffee, and then in a little bit I'll tell you about the book, because I actually finished How to Survive a Slasher. Did not plan to. I'd planned to check in with you before then, but I just managed to finish it last night, and I was like, I'll just fill them in on the whole book today. So I'm gonna do that, but I need to make coffee because I'm in desperate need of caffeine. So I'm gonna make that. I'll have you along for the coffeeing so you can see everything. But yeah, so you'll get a book update. You're gonna get a surprise mystery update before this vlog is over. It has to do with Gremlins, the movie. So you'll see my dear Gremlins, who are secretly not those things, because those are licensed. You are just lovely people who like to read after midnight and eat snacks. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, so I'm gonna make coffee, and I'll tell you one on the book and let you know about the next book. So yeah, let's get to coffee making. Hello Gremlins, I have had coffee. I've had the pumpkin roll. Krista is on her phone, but thoughts on the pumpkin roll?
More spice, a little, not so much pumpkin.
Yeah, it was just okay. We have a lot of it left, so it's in the fridge. But I had pumpkin spice coffee with the cold foam that you saw, and I'm about to make lunch because it's actually been like
a lazy day.
Yeah, I think it's been 2.5 hours, 3 hours since we had that. Maybe only 2.5. But I did say I would tell you about the book. So How to Survive a Slasher follows CJ, and she is a survivor of the second Wolfman attack. So in this book we learn that Slasherville, which is Satterville in reality, but it's nicknamed Slasherville, Ohio, had an attack at some point at a camp Satterville, and CJ's father was one of the 3 survivors. And then like 25 years later, the brother of the original, now dead, killer went on like a revenge spree to finish what his brother started, and her father ultimately was killed. And then she became a survivor of that along with her younger brother Orion. Now she's randomly received, she use both pronouns throughout the book. So they also, like, the 2 of them survive. They then receive a book called Return to Slasherville that seems to be from the author, and they're like, this is so weird. And when they read through it, there's supposed to be a final girl in it, but that final girl, something happens and the entire story is changed. So then we follow CJ as they connect with Sebastian or Sebas, and a girl named, oh my gosh, is her name Nora? Why am I forgetting her name? And I really like her too. Hold on. She's in the back of this. So I can get her name. Hold on. Nadia. I don't know why I thought Nora. No idea. Nadia is a Latina lesbian. Her cousin is like a straight dude. But they are cousins. And he is from not the US. He has just moved. There's like a ton of stuff going on. The issue is there is a wolfman going after CJ and she is being targeted. But the problem is because they changed the story, now they are contending with the fact that nothing in the book fits exactly, though some things may still be accurate, sort of. The story then involves Nadia and Sebas, as well as CJ's family, helping her figure out how to stop the Wolfman. Now, there is a massive, like, end of book battle sequence that is wild. They have to contend with a lot of things they've thought to be true are possibly not true or altered. And we also get this focus on, are we living in a book? Which is very interesting, but because this is YA, I feel like they don't get into it as much, and I would have loved to have seen that, because it's kind of like a, are we living in a simulation? But Nadia is kind of leading that, and she's like, well, there's this like thing that everyone is talking about and all this stuff that we're researching, and like, it's not a simulation, but they think we might be living in a book. And so she's like, that's baffling. And that doesn't get covered as much as I wanted it to be, because it was actually like very interesting to have a book where the characters may realize they're in a book. So I was really enjoying that, but because it's YA, we didn't get into it as much, and I really would have liked that. But yeah, again, YA. This also has the like gore tone down because it's YA, because this feels kind of like it would have the gore level of a Scream movie, but it's YA, so it doesn't. I really do appreciate that CJ is a gender fluid, non-binary character. At a certain point, they say they are like gender fluid bisexual. She's into both men and women, really anyone. And the interesting part is we do get a lot of very cool discussions about how CJ presents and how CJ navigates life. They say they're comfortable being called a girl. They will use a girl's locker room. They don't mind if people perceive them as a girl, but she does also want to be perceived as like not a girl sometimes. So very fluid, very like discussing like how they represent day to day. Their mom is delightful. She's like, I don't care how you identify, and you can change what words you use whenever you want to. So I did enjoy it. I just wish we had gotten more into the, are we living in a book? Because I just was really enjoying that, and I just wished it had gotten more time. But solid YA horror book. Very thriller over horror. Like, very Scream. So depending, like, I feel like very Scream, very slasher. But I totally didn't even realize I read How to Survive a Horror Story and then How to Survive a Slasher immediately after. That wasn't intentional. It's just how I had them stacked on the floor. The next one we're reading is The Blonde Dies First by Joelle Wellington. And I am very interested in this. I remember someone talking about this, but I don't remember anyone reading it, oddly enough. I remember it coming up on a list. And, ooh, the synopsis. Oh, it's going to tell you a lot of things. All right. I'll read you part of the synopsis really quick. Sorry, I cut off my own head in that shot. Devin is always being left behind by her genius twin sister, Drew. At this point, it's a fact of life. But Devin has one last plan before Drew leaves for college. A whole year early. The best summer ever. TM. After committing to the bit a little too much, though, the twins and their chaotic circle of friends learn why you don't ever mess with a Ouija board if you actually want to survive the best summer ever. And they soon find themselves being hunted down by a demon? What? Okay, this looks like a lot of fun. I look forward to reading this. Krista will be doing some football prep today, so I'll probably read a little. And I'm going to read some tomorrow too. So I will see if I finish this today, finish it tomorrow. But I'll fill you in when I have an update. I am going to go make lunch because we are very hungry. So I'll talk to you later, Gremlins. And don't worry, there's still a Gremlins the Movie themed surprise that you're going to see before this video is over. I just haven't decided when. But I gotta go make food because I'm so hungry. Alright, talk to you later, Gremlins. Hello, vlog. It is much later. Krista is surrounded by puppies because she dared to open snacks. We lounged. We then cleared off part of our porch. We had like boxes and some stuff we need to move into the storage shed. We did that. We had to run a very brief errand to get trash bags And we also picked up margaritas because we were going to watch Practical Magic. So, behold, I'm gonna switch this without dropping you, maybe. Ah! Oh gosh, I don't know that you should try and hand me things. Okay, chaos. So we're having Cayman Jack margaritas. Krista just gave me a gummy pumpkin. Practical Magic is on the screen.
I'm sure Chloe liked it.
She probably did. It's just the opening sequence. You can't really tell anything's happening. Also, there's laundry everywhere because there's always laundry everywhere. Don't judge me. I mean, you can. It's whatever. They're in hampers. It's just not going away because these are overfilled. And we have to go through our clothes. Anyway, we're gonna watch a movie and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now, Gremlins. Hello, Gremlins. I have on my pumpkin shirt. I have some fall plaid pants on. I slightly did my makeup and I put dry shampoo in my hair. I also repainted my nails. We're headed out. I'm getting pumpkin coffee. And then Krista has draft stuff. Today is her official draft. So we're grabbing the coffee pre-draft. I'm also wearing a very cool backpack, but I can't really show it to you. But I'm not bringing you with me for the draft because I'll just be reading while Krista's doing stuff and I don't want to set up my camera. Also, I have to figure out how to fit it in my bag. So it's like a tombstone backpack. It's Emily Binks's tombstone from Hocus Pocus, but I haven't figured out spacing, like how to get stuff in it super well right now. So I'm gonna go, but I wanted to show you the outfit. There's a bunch of random house stuff next to me. That, and I'm just gonna wear my pumpkin slides. So yeah, but we're gonna head out. I feel like in this lighting, one of my eyes looks way blacker than the other. I may have to add more to this eye really fast. Yeah, I do. All right, talk to you later, Gremlins. Hello, Gremlins. We are home. I'm in pajamas. I have a Chloe. She says hello. I have a book update. Oh, draft went well. I have not updated the vlog on drafting went well. For the most part.
Could have gone better, could have gone worse, so I think good. It was a tough draft. It was a tough draft. Chloe wasn't there. She would have taken a kicker in the first.
Yep.
Did not go that way.
Correct.
Instead, I went with Jamar Chase, but, you know, to each their own.
But yeah, so we're home now. We got dinner at Longhorn. And we're gonna relax. Probably watch the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I'm gonna heat up some cider. But I finished my book, which was not the plan. I had planned to update you like midway through. Didn't happen. I read like the entire thing while the draft was happening and then a little bit before we got food at the restaurant. But I have finished The Blonde Dies First, which I only read you the brief synopsis for. So in this, oh gosh, I'm gonna cough. So one sec. Maybe we're good. All right. So Devin has been planning this like best summer ever for her sister Drew. They're twins. Drew has always been like ahead of her academically, has gone to a private school and is actually graduating early, and she thinks going to college sorry, in the fall. So like not even sure she'll even see her. And she agrees to go to a party with her and a bunch of their friends go. So they can finally meet Drew's like private school friends. So they go to this party, a Ouija board gets pulled out, and then this whole possible demon summoning thing happens based on a movie. One sec. Sorry, I really had to cough. But a demon very possibly gets summoned that is inspired by / was the inspiration for a horror movie. So we get a lot of like the demon maybe act like following the tropes of a horror movie, possibly. Devin and her friends are trying to figure out a theory for like how everyone can survive what's going on. We see the demon is prepared, the demon is doing things, but like, can they stop the demon? How is the demon like figuring stuff out? Is the demon following these tropes? Can they stop him with anything they have? What are they going to do? So a lot of it is a discussion of horror movie tropes, and there are a lot of references to Scream in this, like a lot. It does turn out that the author, Joelle Wellington, one of her favorite movie people, actually possibly favorite movie director, creator is Wes Craven, so that makes sense. But Scream is mentioned a lot, but the issue is this is not a slasher, this is like demonic horror. So they're like, ah! And this demon thing is creepy. Aspects of it remind me of the movie Smile 2 a bit. I'm not gonna say how, but there's like a thing that it does that reminded me of Smile 2. But it is like it is very fun. It is a fun time. It is very popcorn horror. Again, it's YA, so I'm not the intended reader audience. So it's really fast. There are some trope elements. It was surprisingly gay. Did not expect that, but is gay, which was a lovely surprise. And it was a really fun time. There are some twists. It did catch me, like it did trip me up a couple times, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I was having a great time. It was super quick read, so it was fun. I feel like if you like a slasher movie, this would be one for you. It feels more slasher than, like, slasher in that it's inspired by slasher movies, I think, more so than other stuff, but, like, I could be wrong. They do mention, like, The Conjuring. I've seen those, but it's been a minute. And some other stuff that is more, like, demon related, but I think because it is fun to write a slasher type story, it does stick to some slasher stuff. So it was, hi, hello. Hello. She's licking my arm. So I did enjoy it. This is not gonna be the last book in the vlog. I just don't have that book in here. I do have another one. I'll show it to you tomorrow. We're just gonna get cozy. I'm not planning on reading anything the rest of tonight. So yeah, we're just gonna chill, have cider, watch the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, possibly something else after, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go make of the hot cider. But I would recommend, if I feel like if you liked this one, you would like How to Survive a Slasher and vice versa. So they feel very, oh gosh, what word am I looking for? Not connected. Oh goodness, my brain soup. But they feel comparable to each other. That's the word I was looking for. So if you liked one, you'd like the other. If you liked similar things to either of them, I think you'd enjoy it. But yeah, so that's that. I will yank out the other book tomorrow morning so you can see it, but I may show you the ciders. They're just gonna be in fun mugs. So yeah, we're gonna get cozy, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning, Gremlins, but you may get some clips of tonight, possibly. So see you in the morning. Good morning, Gremlins. Okay, this is going to be a very odd update for you. So first, did want to let you know that we watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, the new one, and we actually enjoyed it. Like, it was a fun time. Parts of it were guessable. It did get set up for a sequel, which I think could be fun, actually. So we had an enjoyable time. We watched that, then we just kind of like chilled, watched some Bob's Burgers. But I would actually watch a sequel. I would, because it was fun. I like a fun slasher movie. They're just an enjoyable time. I also have made a change to the book that I was going to read next. So first, let me know your thoughts on I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 2025? Yes, it came out this year version, because it's fun. The book element that I'm going to get in, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. First, please enjoy my shirt. It says Creep It Real. It's from Old Navy a long time ago. And then this very fun mug. I don't know where this is from. Do you still have it? This might be at home, maybe. But it's like a skull thing. I only got this because I have a plastic one, I think I had to get rid of it, that looked very much like this, that I used all the time in grad school. So I bought an actual ceramic one, or whatever this is. Glass? It might just be glass. So I have this, and I'm having Hocus Pocus coffee. So while we were watching, well, before and after we watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, which we did have to watch on Prime. That was the only way you could rent it. We kept getting ads for other horror movies. We got ads for horror movies based on things that I watch, which is really bad for Krista because she is very afraid of clowns, and I am not very afraid of clowns. And somehow it always determines that like a clown thing is what I want to watch. I don't know why. Like, I'm not watching clown horror typically, but it was just like clowns. So it kept advertising Clown in the Cornfield. And I was like, I never watched that movie. And I didn't. I never watched Clown in the Cornfield. And I did technically do the audiobook for Clown in the Cornfield, the first one. Now I say this as a kind of, because I did get through the whole story. But I remember not feeling well, or like something going on with me while I was trying to do the audiobook. And like it was a period where like I did a bunch of audiobooks because I just like could not focus, or I was really busy. I don't know. But I remember consistently having to rewind it because I kept thinking I missed something because I was just not in like a focused headspace. So I don't remember much of the actual audiobook. I though still have the audiobook because I had purchased it. So instead of reading what I was going to read, which was going to be Perfume and Pain, which is not a horror book and does not fit any of the other things that I read. Now, do all my things have to fit in a video, like match each other? No, because I am chaos and I do what I please. But it felt so out of left field in comparison, and I was just like, am I in the mood for this right this second? And I'm not, because okay, so far we've done how to read a horror, or how to survive a horror story, how to survive a slasher, and then The Blonde Dies First, which is basically a how to survive a horror movie plotted book. And on top of that, I haven't really updated you on these books until I'm done with them, which I try not to do, but in this vlog it has happened consistently because I'm reading them faster than I think I'm going to, and then I just forget to update you until I'm done. So my thought here was that I would find another like survive an entity, a slasher, a monster thing. And then because I keep getting suggested Clown in the Cornfield the movie, I would do Clown in the Cornfield the book because I don't remember it super solidly. And then I would watch the movie at some point, somehow. It's on Shudder. I don't have a Shudder right now, but Shudder is not a difficult thing to get. So perhaps on Shudder, I don't know. But I'm thinking at least Clown in the Cornfield 1. Now, if I can find 2 and 3, and I'm still in the mood for more things, I may include those. I haven't decided. But we're going to do Clown in the Cornfield, and then I will at some point do Clown in the Cornfield, the movie. Because I'm feeling more in the zone for like YA, like keeping it within this realm of survival, and survival from a slasher of sorts. So that's what I'm feeling right now. So that's what we're gonna do. And then I can read Perfume and Pain later this week, or next week, or whenever I want, because I own it. It's one of the books I bought from the Long Story Short mobile bookstore. I was very excited to see it, and I like to show that queer books sell from her store. And this is blurbed on the back by a number of queer authors, and it is queer fiction as opposed to like queer horror. So I decided I'm just not gonna read it in this one. I will probably read it in the next one because I have another book that I would like to get done before October. So I think I would do those two and then see what else I'm gonna do. But Clown in the Cornfield is going to be the next book, and then the movie at some point. Not with Krista. I'm not subjecting her to that. She really doesn't like clowns, and she doesn't need that in her life. Like, she doesn't. Also, my asthma's been fine. I'm having some like seasonal allergy symptoms, I think because it got really cool and now it's like warming up again. So pollen or something is being weird. I don't know, but my nose is running and I'm coughing. So if I cough in the next few clips, it's because my allergies are causing my asthma to be weird. But that is my update for now. I will discuss with you Giant Box before this video is over, and you'll get to see what's in the Giant Box. And I will get into that, but not in this clip because I'm just taking a quick break to talk to you. So yes, that is it for now. Clown in the Cornfield is going to be next, and then at some point the movie, because I did really want to see the movie, because if I remember, it is different than the book from what people have said, but I would like to re-experience the book so that I remember it better when I get into this. So yeah, I have to go. I'm gonna drink more coffee. I will update you when I can. This will also probably be another I'm not gonna update you till I'm done, because it is an audiobook and I remember it being pretty short. So yes, that's the plan. We'll see how I feel after that, and if I'm gonna try and track down the other two. So that is it. I will talk to you later, Gremlins, and be ready to see what's in that box, and I'll get into that later, I swear.
Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. Performed by Jesse Valinsky. Prologue. Can you see me? Cole yelled over to them. He was standing on the south shore of the reservoir, barefoot and facing the water.
Hello, Gremlins. It's the end of my lunch break, and I actually thought I would fill you in at the half-ish way point of Clown in a Cornfield. So we are following Quinn, who is new to the town of Kettle Springs. I took notes. And she meets Rust, who hasn't really been in the story for a little bit, but she meets someone named Rust, who I remember being key to the rest of the story. Then Cole. And so Rust we don't really know a lot about, just that he's not really like, he doesn't really hang out with other kids. Kind of seems like he sticks to himself. And then Cole was, still kind of is, like super popular, like part of like the biggest family in town. But he recently set something on fire and was suspended, and there's a lot of animosity between him and the adults in town. So the point at which our lovely Quinn has moved to Kettle Springs is like the week of their Founders Day. And Founders Day celebrates Friendo. Friendo is a clown who is considered the sort of folkloric founder of their town. Now, Cole does say this is a lie, it's invented, but we do learn Friendo was real. Like, Friendo did perform for kids during like the Great Depression when food was scarce in the town. And because of that, Friendo became kind of like a symbol of the town and was used for this big corn syrup factory. They're in Missouri, it's a lot of corn, and there was a corn syrup factory, but it is now defunct. It closed and it was burned. You can assume by who. Whom? I think it would be whom. Anyway, so we have been introduced to this town, and there's a real big divide between the adults and the kids. So the issue here is that the kids have been doing some stuff. So there is a prologue in which there are people filming at this sort of like quarry, and someone dies. Like, a person dies, a child dies. And from that point, it seems like there has still been filming. They're like the popular teens who are filming things that really are upsetting the adults. They're kind of putting them in situations to fluster them or to make them look bad and posting it on the internet. So the parents are like, like all the adults in town are very like anti the teens of the town. They hate that they're always on their cell phones. They hate that they're filming this sort of like clickbaity, rage baity stuff. And so there's a big divide. Now, the parents and other adults in the town, some of them I'm sure don't have kids, a lot of them do, are reacting to something that occurred. I'm not going to tell you what, that did cause a huge issue in town that is unrelated to Cole setting something on fire. Something else much larger happened, and they are pissed. So they are planning something, and that's all we know. They're trying to take matters into their own hands and figure out how to deal with the teens. The teens are doing what teens do in a horror book, which is party. So there's a party that's going to be happening at a certain point, and that's what we've got. I'm not really going to spoil stuff. We just, like, the party is very specific, like, horror movie. Like, there's normally I knew I was gonna cough. Normally a party of some sort. So that's what we've got happening here. There is a party. Some stuff has already occurred, and just know clown in a cornfield is key, because Friendo in this is ultimately our villain. So that's where I am so far. I'm like on chapter 10. I'm listening to it at like 2.5 speed depending. And then I did find out my library had the second one, so I just requested it. I put a hold, but because of the holiday, I don't know. Like, I could go and try and find it, but I can't go to the library today. And so I just placed a hold because I can pick it up tomorrow. And I have books to return anyway. So I requested it. I won't get it till tomorrow, but I do think I'm going to include this in this video just because I could get a hold of it. And it was free to me. I love a library. So that will be in later in the video. I do still want to watch the movie, but that may also be tomorrow. I may just play it during the morning at work while I'm doing my like morning prep stuff. So yeah, but I am going to finish this. I do remember some stuff that makes me very happy that occurs at the end of this, but I do remember this being pretty gory, and there was like a gory scene, and I think it amps up if I remember correctly, but it's been a minute. I will say Kettle Springs consistently makes me think of Devil's Kettle and Jennifer's Body, which I also need to watch. I normally watch it about now, if not earlier, but I just haven't gotten to it yet, and I really, really love that movie. So I'm not going to watch that in this video, I don't think, but I will be watching it before too long. So there's that. That is the update I have for you. I have to go though, so my plan is to finish this throughout the rest of my workday. I don't have a ton left, and then I'll catch up with you after work when I finished it and when I can talk to you more about box over here, the box of things. So yeah, but I gotta go. I have to get back to work. I just had a few minutes at the end of my lunch break that I could fill you in real quick. I also drank an Alani Witch's Brew, which I did not know that this was like a super sought after flavor. Also did not know Alani was like, it's empty now. Alani is like a thing, like people are obsessed with it. Had no idea. I normally just like picked up one or two in the fall because I like those caramel apple suckers and it tastes like them. So I was like, oh, I'll just pick up a couple. And then like there's so much stuff about like the Alani Witch's Brew and like fights breaking out and like stores being completely like bought out. And I was like, what is this nonsense? I got it at Sam's Club. They had a case. of it. And we had points or dollars or something, like cashback kind of. I don't really know how it works. But we had that, so I got an 18 pack for pretty cheap. I didn't get the one that has the pumpkin in it. They didn't have that, and I'm not gonna try and track that down. I really just wanted the Witch's Brew ones. I didn't need that many. But I think that will be useful when I have to pull some late nights end of September into October when I'm scare actoring, because I can like bring them and I can have one before I have to be up for a number of hours. But I need to go. I will talk to you later, Gremlins, about my final thoughts on Clown in a Cornfield. May start the movie while I'm doing something. Actually, I think I'll just start the movie tomorrow. I think that's my plan. But I will tell you final thoughts on this, and then we'll talk about the box, which is almost like an elephant in the room. It's so big. But I have to go. I will talk to you later, Gremlins, about stuff that I already told you about. Oh my gosh, I feel like I had too much caffeine. Probably too much caffeine. Hello, dear Gremlins. This is a very quick update. It is right at the end of my day, but I need to take the dogs out. So I'm just filling you in. I finished Clown in the Cornfield. Clown in a Cornfield? In a Cornfield. Yeah. It is gay. I always remember that at the end, it's gay. And I get very, very excited about that fact. It is a wild as heck time. It is set up for a sequel, like, immediately. I don't know if the movie is. So this is the plan. I did really enjoy that. I do want to watch the movie. I am excited to read the second one, which I think should be in at my library tomorrow. So tomorrow, the goal will be to watch Clown in a Cornfield, the movie, before my day gets crazy. And then, like, I'll have it on, I'll watch some of it before work, and then I can finish it up while I'm doing my, like, morning stuff. Then I may watch another movie, though there's been a lot of YouTube recently that I need to catch up on, so maybe that. And then at some point, I will pick up the book on a Wednesday. Now, that either means my wife will pick it up for me during her lunch break, or I'll pick it up after work. The fun thing about tomorrow is it's also the second half of Wednesday season 2. So we're definitely watching that, and I'm making like a themed dinner at home instead of getting the Wendy's meal. So that will be in this video. So that'll be fun. I hadn't even thought about that. So cool. It'll just be a lot of watching stuff for a little bit, and then a book, which will be Clown in a Cornfield 2, Friendo Lives. So be ready. Be ready for a lot of me talking about stuff that I've watched, with no spoilers, I promise. I may give a brief, like, what differed in the movie versus the first book for Clown in a Cornfield, but nothing in depth. That's it for that. I have a very exciting announcement. So, this is gonna, some people are gonna be like, Catherine, this is so bizarre. Remember in my short stories vlog that I said I never found that short story, couldn't find it, didn't know where it was? I emailed my childhood library because I knew that growing up I read this book, and I was like, it had to have been in the early 2000s, before 2009. I had to have read this, and I was like, I haven't been able to find it. I thought I found the correct book, and I didn't. It wasn't in there, which was Chris's Inc. by Vivian Van Velde. Turns out I had the author right, not the right book. So I just got an email this afternoon, and my library that I grew up with emailed me back and was like, we found the book. Like, we think this is definitively it for you. It is All Hallows Eve, 13 stories by Vivian Van Velde, and the short story is called Morgan Romer's Boys. That's the story. That is the story where there is a ghost pretending to be a young boy or a young man who then kills someone, and it's a whole thing. I am so excited, but that book is not coming until the end of the week for sure. My New York library system, like the system itself, had it. I could get it. I'm gonna get it. I have requested it. But I don't know when it's coming in. I'm hoping this week, because like no one had checked it out. So I will have that, but it'll be in the next video, I think. Unless it comes in sooner rather than later, then I'm just gonna keep it in this video. I haven't decided, but I'm so excited that I'm gonna be able to read the short story I've been looking for years, because I forgot it was in a different book. Oh my goodness, I'm just so excited. Let's hope it's in before Friday, because if it's in by Friday, I will read it and then include it in this video. So just so you know, I know I haven't gotten to the box. I will after I take the dogs out. I just need you to know these things. Be ready for an explanation of the box. I'm just so excited. All right, I gotta go. I gotta take out the dogs. I will talk to you later, Gremlins, as I discuss this box. Hello, Gremlins. Okay, I am now in a position where I can tell you about the box. So, you can probably already kind of tell what the box is. The downside is I can't tip the box over very well and still talk to you. Am I just gonna set you up over there? I feel like I could set you up on this. I think you're just gonna have to be on my desk again, because I know there's reverb. Oh, and I'm blue, so we're not staying here. My work computer rebooted, so I'm either blue or we're very awkwardly positioned. All right, let me temporarily turn off my office fan. Sorry, that angle was atrocious, but it is what it is. I'm gonna sit. Oh, you're sitting with me. And jumbo box, you can't see. Okay, so this box. I did not anticipate having this box. And this box is here. And okay, so we have been on a mission to find a pellet stove. So Krista really wants to get a pellet stove for our house. So that's like, it burns stuff. Instead of burning wood, it burns pellets, and you install it and you have to set it up so it kind of has like a vent out of your house. And the issue we're running into is that a number of places have them, but those places don't install them. Or the one place in town that installs them will not sell you a stove at the actual price of the stove. And if you purchase even the same model from a different place, they won't install it. Like, you can't just pay them to come out and do an install. So we're running into the issue that while pellet stoves are typically not wildly unaffordable, they can be budgeted for, they can be planned for. The company that we went to that would do the install was charging 3 times the price of a pellet stove. And we're like, that is not doable. Like, that, how is that possible? How? So they were a no-go. And then Krista has been trying to price match or locate any place that will do an install. So we have gone to a number of places, primarily Lowe's, but they don't do install. They do have one that we could budget for, but they don't do installs. So the problem becomes we can't buy one unless we have an install person. So she has some feelers out to get some info on like maybe some folks that who are like contractors or who have worked in home stuff and do it like on the side or unofficially, or like they know how to do it safely and they're willing to do it like just like we pay them, but they'll come out and install it. So while we've been doing this research, mostly Krista, I just travel with her while this is going on. We ran into the fact that she's getting pretty desperate because a lot of places were like, oh, we have a pellet stove, but we don't install. And she was finally just looking like pellet stoves near you. And one of the places that came up was Home Depot. Now, we have gone to Home Depot a handful of times in the entire almost 5 years we have lived here. Our Home Depot is horrible. And not only like, do I have issues with Home Depot, the company, ours is bad. They never like want to look anything up. They don't explain that. Like, it's always bad. The associates, and I think it's just poor training. Also, ours is in the middle of nowhere off a highway ramp. Like, no one goes there. So we just truly don't know why it is like this. But every time we've gone, because in the past we have had to go there in like desperate attempts to find something, especially when we first moved into our house, we didn't have any kitchen storage and like no pantries, nowhere to put groceries unless they were for the fridge. So we had to find something, and we like tried everywhere. This was also in 2020, so it was a hot mess. We went there and it did not go well. So like every time we go, it doesn't go well. And so we haven't been going. Like, we have not gone to Home Depot, also because there have been various boycotts and certain Home Depots are doing very horrible things. Now, some of that I think may be specific to that Home Depot or whoever works there, or like something, I don't know. Our Home Depot, again, no one is ever there. Like, there's almost never anyone there. We rarely go there. We don't typically even like drive by. Like, it's just in such a weird spot and they're never helpful and it just is useless. This is a rant. We went solely because Krista was like, I just need to know if they install them. Like, they have a pellet stove on their website and I just need to know, because we need to know if someone can install a pellet stove. Someone, anyone. They don't. They didn't actually know what a pellet stove was, even though they had one at the store for sale. And Krista was like, I don't understand. And like, the guy wouldn't even like look it up or pull it up to look at. So she was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand at all. While she was doing that, I thought, while I'm here, I'll just look at animatronics. Because I mean, I'm in a hardware store. What am I gonna do? It's Halloween-y time. I look at animatronics, and behold, this animatronic is set up. You can barely see him. Still can't really see him. I'm terribly sorry for this angle. I don't want to stand up. Behold my very messy floor. Oh, I'll stand up. Hold on. Ugh. Okay. So this is set up on the floor, doing his thing, making sounds, saying lines from the movie. Had no idea it even existed. Had never heard this was happening. I don't follow like animatronics things. So I was like, oh my God, what is this? And I was just staring at it and I couldn't leave it alone. And they have other ones. They're the ones who do like Chucky, Tiffany. They were the first 12-foot skeleton people. So yeah, I'm freaking out about this stripe that talks and looks like he's from the movie, except he's very tall. And I'm like, this is incredible. This is incredible. Not cheap. I mean, cheaper than a pellet stove. And I'm like, he's so cool. He's like so cool, but we don't need him. I don't even know where we would put him. And I'm just like freaking out. And Krista finally was like, if you like him so much, she was like, you are like brimming with joy at the fact that this exists. And she was like, she was like, if we don't get it now, all that's gonna happen is resellers are gonna buy it. resellers are gonna buy it. It's gonna be going for probably $1,000. And she was like, and then you're gonna see it and be like, ah, why didn't I get it? And she was like, so just get it. She was just like, life is too short for you not to get this. You really want it. It's here. We can get it today. Like, I know for a fact that we can make it work. So I have a stripe animatronic from a store that I'm not a fan of. I don't know how to feel about this. I am brimming with joy still about the fact that I have this. He's going to live in my office, but also I'm like annoyed he was at Home Depot. Though, admittedly, I think all hardware stores rolled back their DEI. So like, I don't know that Lowe's is any better. So I just everyone sucks is what I'm getting at. Like, all corporations suck. Sometimes it's exhausting to keep track of who is the worst. And admittedly, my brain is soup at this point because I keep thinking so many more months have passed in this year than have. Or sometimes I can't keep track of anything. So literally, I could not remember. Like, I remembered all hardware stores were basically bad. And I was like, all of them. Just all of you. And like, I don't know. Is this an ethical purchase? Probably not. Is this a purchase that will make me very happy for years to come? Yes. Do I feel bad that it's from Home Depot? Yes. Do I like know what to do with those feelings when I know that also my tax dollars are going to stuff that I don't want to fund? And I have no say in that. I am very sure the money I'm putting into things will be completely decimated by the time I'm old enough to get them. Do I just feel a general malaise and rage about a variety of things all the time? Yeah. So at this point, I'm just going with everyone sucks. This brought me joy. I'm sorry if I've disappointed you for getting this at Home Depot, but also everyone is trash and I can't keep track of everything anymore. And I just really wish that we were in a different political climate and I would feel less bad about this. Because I know for a fact, if we were in a different political climate, I wouldn't have felt as bad about this because they wouldn't have rolled stuff back. And we would be here. Like, I would be here being like, ah, the one time we go to Home Depot, it was great. And now I'm just like, the one time we went to Home Depot, it still sucked. But there was a stripe. So I'm gonna build this and you're gonna get to see it. Not me building it because there's not enough room in my office for that and I have to set up a fan because I'm sweating like crazy. But we're gonna set this up. So be ready to see a 3.5-foot gremlin. And by gremlin, I mean all capitals gremlin, copyright of the Warner Brother Company, the kind that start as Mogwai and then eat after midnight, get wet, kill people, and multiply. You though, my dear gremlins, are just internet things. You live in technology, and thus that's why you're a gremlin. You also like reading after midnight. I like to throw that one in. But it's mostly that you're things in technology, because the whole thing of actual gremlins, the original definition, is like they were things that messed up technology. You're in the technology, so it's fun. Anyway, I'm gonna build this guy. So that was a big rant about Stripe, and my thoughts on purchasing Stripe, and yet still purchasing him. So here we are. I'm gonna build this monstrosity. I will see you when it's built. He is built literally the size of a human toddler. Like, he's huge. Huge. Just huge. Let me turn him on for you. So, Oh, this is gonna startle the crap out of me. Hold on. He has an on button. Can I just like prop you up so you can see him? Maybe. Yes, if I don't knock the scissors to the ground. All right, that works. All right. Yeah, you can see him. Turning on the on button. Yeah, that's him. He does a loop. Yes. Okay, I need to turn him off. I wanted to show you a little bit more, but I do need to turn him off. He does like a thing to position his head. Yeah, see, so he does this. Oh, and you're gonna start moving. I have to wait. Okay, hold on. Oh, that is sensor, which I don't want it on. There we go. All right, he is in position. Face position is good. I need to unplug him. But yeah, that's Stripe, who, yes, you're not on sensor. For comparison, this is how he like is on me. You can see him. He comes up to my like waist. He's huge. But I'm done. I got him put together in the box, put in the closet. I'm going to unplug him so that he does not mysteriously turn on at night, because that would scare the bejesus out of me. But yeah, he's set. That is where he's going to be. Until further notice. We are planning to move some stuff around in another room at some point, and then he'll go in there. He would scare the dogs and the cats, so he has to be in a closed room. But he's staying up all the time. And for right now, he's just gonna live right there and scare me when I walk in the door, because I will forget he's in here. But I'm gonna go. I'm very sweaty. I'm gonna drink more water. It's hot in here with the fan off, and so I've had it off on like sporadically, but I need to get him unplugged and get situated. So hot. I am so hot. And go cool down. I think I'm gonna put on my pajamas, get cozy. Krista is still at court, I believe. So yeah, but I'm gonna go. But this is him. This is, oh, that's my wife. She's done at court. So I'm gonna go. I will talk to you tomorrow, Gremlins. Good morning, Gremlins. I'm still adjusting to having a Stripe the size of a toddler in my office. The thing is so big. Did we discuss this yesterday? Like, look how tall he is. Like, that's not life size. This is like, took giant serum and is this big. The only reason I keep bringing it up is, so I showed Krista, like I brought her into the office to see him, and she was like, he did not look that big at the store. And I think what threw us off at the store is he was next to Chucky and Tiffany, who are also 3.5 feet tall, and they look small because in my brain, the Chucky animatronic should be the size of, can you see him? No. He's I have a Chucky on. I just knocked him over. So see, that Chucky, that's the height of my Chucky doll. I got him 2 years ago, last year. And he, sorry about all the weird angles, and I knocked something over, so I can fix that. Please stay, there we go. So like, somehow I feel like the fact that it's like a warehouse, they had them on the second level. I don't know, but he did not seem this large. But also like 3.5 feet is not the size of Stripe. Like Stripe is maybe 1.5 feet tall. So like, I don't understand why he's so big. He's fabulous. I feel like I could put clothing on him for different holidays. But he's huge. So huge. Just so very huge. Anyway, I signed up for my Shudder free trial. I just like re-downloaded it on my iPad, and it was like, oh, you don't have to pay for a week. So yay for me. So I will be watching Clown in a Cornfield today. Like, it'll just be on. It'll be what it'll be. I'll probably miss some stuff, but I will have it on during work. I do this a lot. I'll like play something, but it doesn't mean that I can't really pay full attention. I do what I can. But it's the only way it's gonna get watched. So it's either play it for background or don't play it at all. So we're gonna play that. I got a notification that Friendo Lives, the second one, is in at the library, and Krista did say that she should be able to swing by during her lunch break to pick it up and drop off my other books. So I will get to start that today or tomorrow, because today is Wednesday day. Oh, good lord. So I'm wearing on Wednesdays we wear black. I'm already sweating. So this shirt, I wish the shirt were black. I really do, because I sweat in the shirt every time, and I'm like, I always look sweaty in the shirt. I'm also drinking out of my Stay Kooky Big Lots mug, R.I.P. Big Lots. I wish you still existed in our area, but that's what I'm drinking out of. I am really tired today, and we weren't even up late. Last night we watched Scream. I really wanted to watch it after, like, Scream the original one, since Scream 5 is also just Scream. Anyway, we watched the first one because they kept mentioning it in the Blind Dice first, and I was like, I really want to watch it, and so we watched it last night. So that was a fun time. I love watching the Scream movies. Tonight we're definitely watching Wednesday, the 4 episodes, and then tomorrow is football, which is why I'm like, I think I will be reading tomorrow. Just because football will be on. I am making football like food for dinner tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night. And then Friday I have scare actor orientation. So it's busy like rest of the week. I'm very excited to see what happens in the second half of Wednesday. I almost want to set up my beloved Wednesday. I did not buy her, FYI, which sounds weird. So I did get the Wednesday American Girl doll, but it was an early birthday gift from like assorted family members. They like got together and got me the Wednesday collector doll because I was so excited about her. Which like I normally don't get, like this is not a thing that happens. Like I don't get like huge gifts, like we don't typically do that, but it just like I was talking about it with my sister, and then she and Krista like planned this whole thing with my folks. So I wound up with the Wednesday doll, and she's beautiful, but I'm terrified to take her out of the box. So she's currently just in the box with Thing and her piranha. And then we got Stripe this year, which this was unplanned. I didn't even know he existed, okay? Like, what internet searches was I not doing where this didn't come up? I was looking up Gremlins for months for Five Below to get those guys. So, I don't know. Anyway, I need to start work. I just wanted to fill you in that I got the Shudder thing. So I will watch the movie today and do my best to like report back a bit. And then I should be able to start reading the book tomorrow, I think. Just because I can read it a little before work and I can read it during football. And then I'm really hoping that short story book comes in tomorrow. Really hoping it does. But I need to go. So I'm gonna finish drinking my coffee, doing some work stuff. Eventually I'll talk to you about Clown in the Cornfield, and also Wednesday. I will, no spoiler, talk about the new episodes of Wednesday before I go to bed, or tomorrow morning. I don't know yet, but I gotta go. So I'll talk to you later, Gremlins. Be ready for clown movie reviews, Wednesday TV show reviews, and eventually the sequel. Well, the second book in the Clown in a Cornfield series. I'm so tired still. I need to drink more coffee. All right, talk to you later, Gremlins. Hello, Gremlins. I promise later in the day updates will be not in my office. Krista could not come home for lunch, and then because we got kind of slammed, I literally just took lunch. Like, I'm on the end of my lunch, and it is late. Like, this is way later than I normally take lunch. I had to time it with the folks who are on different schedules than me once I miss the time I normally go. I have had applesauce, pumpkin spice applesauce, no, caramel applesauce, I think, yes, and wheat thins for lunch, and I had the applesauce like a while ago because my head really hurt, and then I was like, oh, I think you need food, so that helped with the headache, and I'm drinking water because thirsty. Beyond that, I did finish Clown in the Cornfield. So the movie does change up the story, and I can, some stuff, like, I'm okay, you want to set it up as like a recurring thing. So in the movie, instead of showing us at the reservoir like they do in the prologue, like at the reservoir, the way the prologue is in Clown in the Cornfield, because that's like the opening scene is all of these kids and they're filming and they're at the reservoir, so you get that like something tragic happened before Quinn came to town. So in this, we're in 1991, and like the teens are smoking dope and like being teens, and then a clown shows up and the clown like takes care of those teens. It's the opening scene, so while a touch of a spoiler, I'm not telling you how, I'm not telling you exactly why, Then we go to now, which is like like 2024, 2025, 20, yeah, I said that right. And we're with Quinn and her dad, and they have moved. And we do get some lines that are pulled directly from the book. We get backstory stuff that is in the book. The prologue is mentioned as something that occurred, so like that has canonically happened just off camera. But the setup for Friendo is way different. The events of the parade, way different. There is that element of like filming things for reactions, but what they mostly don't like is that the kids are making like faux horror movie pranks of Friendo, so like they're disparaging Friendo throughout. Like that's the key part of the movie, whereas like Friendo is an element in like a prank in the book, but not like the sole focus of the pranks. So that was interesting. And it did set up more of a like slasher like it's still a slasher, but like it could have been like a being coming back to get rid of these teens based on how they were like setting it up initially, which they kind of do in the book, but not as, you get more insight into what's going on. I feel like the plot is a bit different, much more fast-paced, different things occur, just like everything is like fast, and you can't like, they don't keep to the story for like how the events shake out once Friendo starts doing the thing. And also like once stuff, so like two things start, and it's interesting because it just like it's a little slow and then very fast, and like I'm trying not to spoil anything, but like it just is done differently. And there's like these jack-in-the-boxes of Friendo that are key that occur. We still do get canon queer characters, so I approve, but there was a goofy thing, and I swear they like make mention of this in the book very precise, like specifically. They say Janet is not white at a certain point, and Janet in this movie was white, and I was like, what? Why? So that was weird to me, unless like she's just very white presenting, but I feel like no, I feel like the actress was white. So I thought that was a weird choice, though there is, I don't know if there's more diverse casting or not, because I don't remember, like admittedly, I don't remember in the book people being described specifically. Like, you could kind of view them however you wanted. Now, I'm sure some of them had descriptors that I just like glossed over. Oh, my phone is ringing. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I have to go though. So good time. Wednesday will be the next thing we discuss, but that won't be for a while. So talk to you later, Gremlins.
My food.
Behold Wednesday dinner. We have spooky nuggets, we have leftover onion petals, we have fries. We also have a cider and some sauce that I forget the name of it. I think it's called the chicken sauce from Kinder? I don't know. We like their sauces. But yeah, there's like bats and ghosts and pumpkins. And Jan Agaton had them in a video, and I was like, those are so cute. And we saw them in Walmart, so I grabbed them. We're gonna watch Wednesday now, and I'm not gonna film any of it because I feel like I'll get copyright striked. So enjoy this plate of very fried food, and I will talk to you later, Gremlins, when we've watched the 4 episodes. Hello, Gremlins. It is late. I'm wearing a Scream pajama top. Well, ghost face. But, I mean, Jenna Ortega's in a Scream movie. She's in the Scream I was talking about, the Scream 5, but it's still called Scream. But, we have watched the episodes. Krista is checking things on her phone because the waiver wire for her fantasy league is at 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, which is not that many hours away. But I am here because we watched the 4 episodes of Wednesday, and based on things they said, I feel like the season ended how I thought it was going to, like on a cliffhanger where they were gonna have to go get someone. That's all I'm going to say. We did get some revelations about Thing, which was very fun. What else? We got a little bit on Gomez and what kind of outcast he is. What else? We learned stuff about the escapees from... Oh, shoot. What was it called? Do you remember?
Thornhill? No.
No. The psychiatric ward place. We got that. We got some info on the former headmaster and the new headmaster. So I thought it was fun. It did end how I anticipated it was going to end based on how they were phrasing things. I don't want to tell you in case you haven't watched it, but like when you say something a certain way, I'm gonna assume that thing is gonna happen, and as soon as they said it, I was like, of course that's how this will end. So it is a cliffhanger, but I'm curious to see how season 3 starts. They did say season 3 would come out faster than, like, the gap would be smaller because they're already working on season 3, I believe. But we ate our foods, we watched the 4 episodes, we're just gonna hang out for a little bit and then go to bed because we have to be up at 3 a.m. And by we, I mean I have to get up at 3 a.m. and then wake Krista up at 3 a.m. so she can use her waiver wire stuff. Oh, she did go to the library for me. Hold on, it's over here. Ah! I can reach it, I can reach it. Yes, my little night table is a mess. Shush, 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 shush. But we have, I just dropped it on myself. Clown in a Cornfield 2, Friendo Lives. So my library actually had this in stock itself, so I have it. It is here. I have a sneaking suspicion though. I knew I was gonna cough. Okay, we're done. That I may not get the short story book in time for this video. So it's still showing that I'm waiting for my hold. It's not even in transit. So I may just do a separate video of just that book, which is not a thing I typically do, even though I just did a Hex Girls video. But like, I have been trying to find that book / that specific short story for so long. So I think it's just gonna get its own video at this point because I don't think I'm gonna get it by Friday because it hasn't switched to in transit and it normally takes 2 days to get to our library from the 2 locations that it lists because I've requested a lot of books from out of city. So yes, I'm very sorry you don't get the short story book, but you at least know it exists and that we found it. And I guess you'll have to show up for the next video. I was not trying to do that, but I think that's what's gonna happen. So we're gonna read this though. We are gonna read Clown in Cornfield 2. And yeah, so this will be the last video, the last book of this video. It's actually pretty hefty. It's heftier than I thought. Whoa.
Sorry.
I was like, what was that? So I'll read this and then I'll end the video after this one. I think that is it. Did enjoy the last 4 episodes of Wednesday. I cannot get over Billie Piper with an American accent. It is possibly driving me insane, which is not her fault. It's not. I'm just used to Billie Piper in Doctor Who. And I just need you to know that I love Billie Piper in Doctor Who, and the fact that she has to be American in this is baffling to me. I get it, but also I'm like, oh, the accent, Billie, why? And then, is it Lumley? I always just call her that woman from Ab Fab, which is not a name. It's so funny that she's in this. I may show Krista Absolutely Fabulous because I don't think she's ever seen it, and I have watched all of it, plus like a reboot movie, I believe. I'm not gonna make her watch all of it. It's a lot of British comedy. But that is it for now. It is late. We should go to bed soon because waiver wire is at 3 a.m. I'm just reminding myself of that over and over again because I have to wake up to wake Krista up. I can't sleep through the alarm. I have to be cognizant of my alarm clock on my phone. But yes, so I will fill you in on this. I don't really want to read you the description. Okay. I'm gonna read you part of it. So, after barely making it out of the Kettle Springs cornfields alive, Quinn's first year of college back in Philadelphia should seem safe and easy. All she wants is to forget what happened and be a normal kid again. But instead, Quinn finds that her past won't leave her alone when she becomes the focus of a host of online conspiracy theories that claim to prove that the Kettle Springs massacre never happened. It's a deranged but relentless fantasy. There's nothing Quinn can do to get people to hear the truth, not even her own campus or in her own dorm. So when a murderous clown attacks Quinn at a frat party while another goes after her father in Kettle Springs at the same time, Quinn realizes that the facts alone are never going to save her. Her only option is to go back home. back into the cornfields, back to where the nightmare began, to set the record straight, the only way she knows how. Because when the truth gets lost, that's when people start to die. That is the premise of this book. They did, in the movie, have Quinn going off to college. They didn't say to where, but she was, like, leaving town, so it seemed like to college. The end of the first book, Clown in a Cornfield, does not actually say, like, have her going to college. It just, like, is a couple months after the events of the story. So this is far in the future, from what I understand. But this is the book. I will be reading it. And I'll recap you when I have thoughts on Clown in a Cornfield 2. Brendo lives. Right. Talk to you later, Gremlins. And I'm going to drink a lot of coffee tomorrow because, did I mention 3 a.m. is the way for wire? Bye for now. Good morning, Gremlins. I am very tired. So, did wake Krista up at 3 to do her waiver wire, and then it, like, wasn't working. I don't know the ins and outs of Yahoo Fantasy Sports Ball. I know vague things. But, like, I didn't understand why it wasn't working, and neither did she. But it did finally work, so she got whatever she needed by, like, 3:20 something. And then I was, like, dozing off and on during that, but I wasn't, like, fully asleep. And I went back to sleep. Then I got up, and I and the girl dogs did not want to get up this morning. I was just like, no. So I'm very tired. I'm wearing one of my fave shirts. This is actually from Five Below. Like, this is not from our whirlwind trip to Salem a little while ago. Like, okay, a long while ago. We want to go back. But Krista took me as a surprise while we were driving to Rhode Island. And I have shirts. I have a shirt and a sweatshirt. 2 sweatshirts from actual Salem. But, like, this was really cute. And at Five Below a few years ago. But I am just drinking a lot of coffee in my Death Before Decaf mug. There are mouth prints. I'm so sorry. But this felt appropriate for today. I'm tired. Also, it matches my book. Like, it matches the book. They're similar color coding. So, I am 100 pages into this. I read before work. And I thought I would fill you in just to give you an idea of what's going on in this one. So, I did read you the full synopsis. And I haven't gotten to some of the events in the synopsis. But this does make sense. And I feel like, okay, so this feels like it definitely inspired the ending of the Clown in a Cornfield movie. So I don't know if they're planning a sequel or not. I have no idea. But this does have Quinn at college. So Quinn has gone to college. She is kind of hyper. Oh, my camera's dying. Oh, I'll be really fast. She's gone to college in Philly, but she is having kind of a hard time being away from home. Her dad is the mayor, and he is dealing with the fallout of the events of the massacre. And then Cole and Rust are still together. They're coming to visit her, which means, of course, events are going to happen in Philadelphia. We've also been introduced to Jerry, who is either gender fluid, non-binary, or trans. I'm really not sure. There's no definitive explanation, which it doesn't matter. Their gender is their gender. Her gender. Her. She, her pronouns were used. Her gender. She was at the events as the DJ, but she was only 13 at the time and lied and said she was 12. And so she was spared because she wasn't a teenager. I'm trying to talk so fast. So we're following her in Kettle Springs. And then there's also a haunted attraction literally taking place at the site of where everything took place. And someone was just there and made everything even more ominous. So I'm enjoying it so far. I will fill you in more when, like, after lunch or something, when I've read more. And I'm reading a ton tonight because it is a football night. So I'll talk to you later, Gremlins, after I charge my battery. Oops. Hello, Gremlins. It is thunderstorming. I knew it was supposed to rain today, but I didn't know we were in for, like, severe thunderstorm warning kind of rain. Especially because the rain, like, it's just been very weird rain. But I'm here because it is after work, a little bit after work. And we are going to the library. My library is actually doing, like, some kind of, like, not giveaway, but the Friends of the Library is, like, not their board, but it's the people who donate consistently. They're doing this, like, basket giveaway to tie into the upcoming book sale. And they announced it this afternoon. And there's a ton of stuff in this basket. And they accept cash only because it's technically a donation to the library. But you can get 3 tickets for $12. And there's an actual Kindle in this basket. And I'm just like, what? What now? So I just thought it would be fun to get some tickets and make a donation to the library to get the tickets, technically. So we're swinging by today. And so I was like, I have to finish my book. So I read a ton of it during lunch, actually. And so I was able to finish Clown in a Cornfield to Friendo Lives a little bit after work. I just wanted to finish it up. I left this all set up because I was like, I will get it done. I will get it done. Because I was like, oh, if we're going to the library today, I want to return this. So I got it done. But this gets bonkers. I don't know. I feel like I've said that about a couple books. But so I don't know. Like, there's a thing in the back for the author's note that just says, let me flip this. Oh, this came out in 2024. Maybe that's why mine doesn't have the other one. But it says, they made a clown in a cornfield too. Like, shock. So my library does not have the third one. I believe the third one is out. Maybe it's not. I'll double check before this video is over. But I do want to know what happens in it, because I'm like, this is wild. So without revealing too much. Now, admittedly, there was some stuff in Philadelphia, but we did come back to Kettle Springs. So the story starts in Philly and then goes back to where everything began. And there's a haunted attraction. I already told you some of this, but like the rest of it is occurring in Kettle Springs. Like all of our characters are brought back to Kettle Springs. Also, specifically, I do think Jerry is trans. Again, it is not stated, but the amount of misgendering that happens to that poor girl who is suffering from PTSD, I'm going with trans. There's a kiss between her and someone, which was very cute. Not a character that is in other books. We do meet more teens, like younger teens of Kettle Springs who weren't in the first book. Jerry does mention some of them maybe were at the party with her, but she doesn't really know for sure. But it doesn't seem like it. Everything just becomes a chaotic, like, I almost want to say witch hunt, but that's not the correct word. It's a manhunt, kind of. So there are lots of clowns, like even more clowns than the first one. We just get a lot of chaos and violence in an attempt to try our survivors from book one. Except Jerry, because I don't think anyone really remembers Jerry was there, except for one person. So I can't tell you much because this is a sequel and it would ruin stuff from the first one. Jerry's plot is not mentioned in the first one, so it is added for this. We get backstory on why she's suffering PTSD. There's kind of a who saved me sort of plot for her, but she's also working to take care of stuff. We're also getting more of Russ's dad, which is very fun because Russ's dad is a very prepared man. Not a ton of him, but he is still in this. Let's see, what else can I tell you? There are just some very intense scenes in this. One of which probably wouldn't get a lot of people, but did get me. So I'm going to tell you that scene. I did enjoy this and I want to know what happens in the third one. So while I'm looking up whether Clown in a Cornfield 3 is available and if my library will get it, one sec. I could always ask them too. Clown in it's like Church of Friendo, I think. Yeah, the Church of Friendo. This was published in... Ooh, interesting. Will release... Okay, I see it on Goodreads. It says it came out in August. Let's do some investigating. Hold on. Yeah, this does say it's out. Yeah, it is out. I might ask my library if they're planning on getting it or if I can do a purchase request because they have the other two books. But it looks like they didn't get this one. I think they got the first one and then the second one because the movie came out and then maybe they didn't get borrowed enough. If I'm going, I may ask them because I want to know what happens. But it's not going to be in this vlog because I don't know when or if I'll even be able to get a hold of it at this point. Yeah, it was wild. The scene I was going to tell you about. So, sorry, I knew I was going to cough. Also, before I get to the scene, Krista surprised me with Taco Bell, and technically they screwed up my drink. I was supposed to get a Baja Blast Zero, but it would have been a medium, and she was like, they handed me the cup, the lid was not on all the way, I got covered in Baja Blast, and I don't think it's diet, because like, it was just on her, so she was like, she got drink on her, and then was like cleaning it up, and she was like, it didn't like smell like diet. Like, it just like didn't. And she is correct, they gave her the wrong drink. This is a regular Baja Blast, also a large, when the meal box I got is supposed to come with a medium, so they handed me someone else's drink. But it's whatever. I will survive drinking a regular Baja Blast. Won't ruin my day. It's good. She drank some of it too, because she was like, it's really not diet, and I was like, no. So she had some of it when we were having lunch, but I hadn't finished it yet. That's why it's like slowly melting on me. But brain, the scene. So there's a scene that I think will only get people if you have like hand damage phobias or have damaged your hand. Actually, there's a couple. Oh, there's kind of a decent amount of hand violence in this. Someone gets stabbed through the hand a bunch of times, though I think they can use the hand. There's just nerve damage. The scene that got me though is someone gets, if you're watching the new Dexter, you'll know what this is, but like someone is in the backseat of a car and pulls what is like a garrote out. A garrote. It's called a garrote, not a garrote, a garrote. But it's a thing, at least I think that's what it's called. It's wire with two like holding things, and you pull back and it's supposed to help you decapitate someone. What happens in this is that is happening to someone, and the person puts their hand, I don't know which direction, but does put their hand up to their throat. I'm guessing it was defensively. So they like pull to like push against it, but then their hand gets caught in between the wire and their neck, and they lose fingers. Like, they are sawed off. And as someone who lost parts of her hand to a device that chopped them, it was jarring. Like, I was like, oh no. Thankfully I lived. I wasn't being choked / beheaded, but I was just but I really enjoyed it. This one was wild. I will say Rust and Cool are still together, which was nice. I now am like very curious if my library will get the third one. I will ask them. If they say no, I may get the audiobook, just because it's going to be the easiest way for me to get it. Maybe, I don't know. I will ask a librarian. They're always very helpful, but I'll fill you in on that at a later date, or I'll just have the book on me and be able to tell you that I got it. But yeah, so I had a fun time. I'm sorry you're not getting the short story collection. I have been checking all day today, and it still isn't even in transit, so like I don't know what's going on. Perhaps the library is doing, some of the libraries are closed this week, or like have limited hours because school is back. I don't quite know why, but like a few of them were like, oh no, after hours programs, reduced hours. So I don't know if like they're doing something at the libraries that I requested it at. Maybe they're low staffed this week. Maybe they're backlogged on sending out requests. I don't know. But that short story book is not even moving. So I'm not gonna hold off hoping that it's coming in. So I'm just gonna end the video here. I have some books I'm gonna read tonight during football that I may or may not vlog. I don't know. Probably not. I'll maybe just, I haven't decided. I truly have not. But I will do a vlog of the short story book when it comes. I will give it its own dedicated vlog. It's been a journey, so it's getting its own vlog. But I don't know what I'm doing besides that. But I'm gonna go. I think that's everything we read. This was such like a chaotic, weird video because I was just like reading so randomly and then like taking you to random places and then filling you in at random things. I got a giant gremlin, all capital gremlin, FYI. But I read How to Survive a Horror Story, How to Survive a Slasher, The Blonde Dies First, audiobooked Clown in a Cornfield, the first one, and then watched the movie, and then did Clown in a Cornfield 2, Friendo Lives. So the third one is called Clown in a Cornfield 3, The Church of Friendo, just so you know. But again, not reading it in this one. But I enjoyed all the books. I thought they were a fun time. A lot of how to survive things in those first three, which I should have assumed. And then the second Clown in a Cornfield actually does have a lot of like, this is how we're gonna get through this, but they've like trained in between books, so you don't get that like prep to survive Clown Apocalypse. But yeah, I think that's it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. If you are also interested in that short story that I've been raving about for 3 videos? I think 3 videos. Maybe only 2. I don't know. Tune in for that whenever the book arrives in my library. Don't know when that's gonna be. But yeah, You can also find me on Instagram, Cliff Go Ever After. Yeah, that's it. See you in the next one, Gremlins.